Yes, what's up? Okay, I think we're good. I think we're in business. Double check. Yes. Pizza. Oh, I have so many things to share with you. Here we go. Kenny, you're off to a good start with that greeting. Keep it above board. Keep it above board.
And now, here's a guy who got tired of being fired by corporate radio. So he took up being fired by Patreon subscribers instead.
Love you too.
It's the Eric Zane Show podcast.
Well, thank you very much, Johnny. Welcome to the Eric Zane Show podcast. My gosh, I found a new toy. I like the idea of how on the end of the free podcast, clicking on the comments and then they show up on the screen like that. That was, and he goes, is the gun put away? No, I still got guns laying down here. I hope you enjoyed that. Hello to you all. Man, I got 3 dogs in here. My dogs, Daisy, O'Neill, and Bruce. I had a meeting yesterday with a couple of dudes who are heavy hitters, big hitters in the podcasting world. And my goal is to have, okay, here's my vision. I take the best rants and the best moments of the week, and I have a super concentrated short show, maybe an hour and a half from those moments, okay? So anything that I know landed, that got me a lot of, that I know was a solid bit, okay? And then I kind of weave them together into one show, and it won't sound like it's from different points in the week. It'll sound like just one show of stories in the news that I'm making comments on, or a personal story like the No Filter Kevin toilet paper incident would be like one that I would put on for this week. And then like whatever the week would whatever direction the week would take me, I put it all into one show, and then that is an additional podcast on another platform, these guys' platform, and then they would maybe get a little marketing muscle behind it, and it would allow me to have another thing that I'm doing and an entirely different audience, different than the one that I've built here, all in addition to what I already do. So I had this meeting with them, and I don't think they were that impressed. They were impressed with what I've built on my own in my locally grassrootsy type of vibe that I do, and that I've been able to sustain with an income based on, the old American elbow grease, slinging it out of my car every day. They love that. And but the idea that they'd be starting a new show, they go, well, how many people listen to your shows? I don't know. I go, in a week, probably an audio show would be downloaded, I don't know, 1,000 times. And they're like, I could just hear the eye roll through the phone. You probably, honestly, and I knew this going in. I know you need like 10 times that amount to be like a viable, real entity. But it doesn't matter to me because I'm busy building a local show. So I think it's going to take some convincing on my part. I think I'm actually going to make the show. Like, this is what it would sound like. My idea is that I'm banking on the content, the quality of whether or not it's funny or important or compelling to some degree. And if they can then get behind it, if they like it, basically. So that was burning on my brain yesterday. I had a terrific interaction with a person when I was out on the walk in between today's podcast. But first, as we say hello to a hodgepodge of various people who are in attendance, thank you so much. Dirk is here, Patriot Nick, Rob, Kyler, let's go! Let's go! Tyler, Kenny, He doesn't work on your schedule. I don't know what's going on. I see Megan. Megan, I will be talking to you in 27 minutes. I have a scheduled conference with the mighty Megan. Okay. Her and Henry Steffes, we're all combining forces like superpowers and having a summit of fun. A fun summit, if you will, about something that we're trying to come up with. So that'll be fun. Excellent. Rob says, Kenny, you should send text to Eric and then have Siri, and then Eric would use Siri to read them. That's not a bad idea. I like that. So I have it on Do Not Disturb right now, so I can't really see it. But Kenny, I know you love to chit-chat. Excuse me, I'm taking out this hoodie. It's getting warm in here finally. I know you can't go more than 1 minute without hearing your own voice in some way, shape, or form. So, yeah, if you ever feel the need to send me a text, that is something I should explore, and maybe it'll happen today. But knowing Kenny, he's going to oh, yeah, man, it's a great idea. Look, well, he hasn't been pissed off at me for 5 hours, so I'll say something fucked up that'll make him pissed off. Which brings me to something else that I wanted to talk about. It is Zaniac Tim D, who I talked about as offering up the first ever Eric Zane Show podcast Paintball Scholarship Award, which 0 of you have actually reached out to me about. I just introed it earlier in the day. But if you want to play paintball October 3rd and you want Tim D to paint for it, pay for the paint, he will do that, okay? So you must send me an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com, paintball scholarship. Okay, his suggestion was this. Eric, for as angry as you get at the audience over their various complaints and bitching, and that's a regular thing. I mean, you need look no further than the queen of complaining, Amanda, who was shamed into not complaining. She doesn't complain that much anymore. To just all the times that Kenny has annoyed the shit out of me, to today on the free podcast when Sarah Rutch decided 30 seconds in to complain about the lighting. So this idea came to Tim D, and I am passing it along to you, and this has to happen. We need to incorporate not a dry erase board, an actual old school chalkboard, okay? The Eric Zane Show podcast bitching board. People who bitch, okay, or piss me off or get on the shit list will be on the bitching board. Their name will appear. I'm pointing over my shoulder like it's here right now because I can absolutely envision it. The bitching board. And if your name goes up there, you can only have one name on the bitching board at a time. Well, that's not true. It could be in list fashion, and you could move people up based on, what they've done to piss me off most recently. Like right now, Sarah would be at the tip top of it, but I can guess by now, because I've been podcasting for, a handful of minutes, 9 minutes roughly, Kenny is no doubt on top of the list, but I just don't know it yet because he's enjoying this podcast or he sent me a text or something like that. So then I would put the names up there and then we could get it sponsored. We could get the bitching board sponsored. So I love that idea. That is really, really good. Now, I have no idea if Kenny has sent me any text. Hey, Siri. Read text from Kenny. No.
Kenny, no, said they do. And I hope you know that's why I do it. But I didn't even really try all that hard today, which is kinda interesting. An eyes emoji. LOL. It's flattering in an odd way, though, to be able to accomplish that. Kind of like your rollback on FBHW or when Julius and/or Ben would get you riled up on WBBL. It's nice to think that could be me on the front lines up there, as the song goes. with a crying with laughter emoji. I behaved for the most part this morning, with a face with halo emoji. I thought it ended for real, with a crying with laughter emoji and a rolling on the floor laughing emoji. What? That was Sarah. And sent a video. Would you like to reply?
Yes.
What do you want to say?
I am absolutely shocked, ... that you have not taken advantage of me having Siri read your messages on the podcast and sent along a shitty, snarky, dumbass email that deliberately tries to piss me off. Period.
Your message says I am absolutely shocked that you have not taken advantage of me having Siri read your messages on the podcast and sent along a shitty, snarky, dumbass email that deliberately tries to piss me off. Ready to send it?
Yes.
Okay, it's sent.
Hey, Siri. Text Kenny, no.
What do you want to say?
I meant send a text and not an email, period. However, you probably would send an email as well and a text and smoke screens and anything else to try to bug the shit out of me, period.
Your message to Kenny no says I meant send a text and not an email. However, you probably would send an email as well and a text and smoke screens and anything else to try to bug the shit out of me. Ready to send it?
Yes.
Okay, it's sent.
Great idea. Rob, we could even sponsor that. Siri reading Kenny's texts brought to you by all the ideas. So I'm walking the dogs in between podcasts. And I noticed some mom walking towards me. She's got her little one. She's taking the kid for the walk. The kid for a walk in a stroller. I get off the sidewalk. I'm in the middle of the street. I got 4 dogs with me as always. And hello. Hi. And she says, excuse me, I have can I ask you a question? Now, I'm like, okay, here it is. She's going to ask me, are those all of your dogs or do you walk them for someone? Because I've had that many, many times. No. She says, were you with a radio show? And I go, okay, this is the direction we're going. And now I did not recognize this person from the neighborhood. And I said, yes, that's me. I used to be on a radio show. She goes, yeah. I used to listen to that. And I just moved here about a year ago. Now, here's where it gets even more crazy because typically this is how this goes. This has happened many times. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. The other neighbors were talking about you, or I just heard through the grapevine that you lived here and I used to listen. So that has happened. No big deal. So I was prepared for that. But what I was not prepared for was her saying this. I used to listen to your show in Nashville, Tennessee. And before that, Knoxville, Tennessee. And I moved here and I saw you walking around with the dogs and I recognized you. And I'm like, what? Holy shit. And she says, yeah, I remember back when you were fired from Free Beer and Hot Wings. I was living in Nashville at the time. And then, okay, all of a sudden you're gone. And then life would take place. I'm at BBL. She has no idea that her name was Katie. And I remember her name. Katie, and the daughter is Vivian. Katie and Vivian. And then Katie says, and then so as life would have it, I just move up here. Now she has no idea. And then she sees me. She's like, wait a minute. That's the dude from the radio. Holy fuck. I'm like, this is so bizarre, small world moment. And of course, I gave her the old plug. I mean, I didn't. Well, you know what I mean. I plugged the radio show or the podcast. I didn't plug Katie. I just said, yeah, well, okay. So yeah, I just live right over here. Where do you live? Oh, that's okay. Cool. How did you wind up here? How did that even happen? And husband works for a local company, wound up here. And here she is. She used to be a fan of the show and she lives in my fucking neighborhood. Like right now, if my door was open and I screamed, out the window, "Hey, Katie, I want to lick your asshole." She would hear that. I can promise you. If she was outside and said, "Katie, hey, I want to lick your asshole," she'd definitely hear me saying that. That's how close she lives to me. Small world, absolutely. My God. Okay, a little small world moment for you. Let's see. Hey, Siri. Read Kenny's no text messages. I don't know why I struggled with that. Hey, Siri. Read text from Kenny no.
Kenny no said I love you, man. Like a brother. For real. Red heart card suit. You didn't have Siri mention what the video was. Why not? Dude. It sounds like you have a stalker in your neighborhood. That's kind of scary. Why do you want to lick the stalker's asshole? Would you like to reply?
No.
Okay.
What is it, Daisy? Come on up. You want to say hi to friends? Come on up. Come on. Ah, Daisy. You're the only one who didn't take a dump today on the walk. What are you doing? All right. Where am I here? Where am I? What did I want to talk about? I wrote it all down. Okay, I got the small world moment covered. Oh my God, do I have some good news for you. You see, there's always a million things floating around in my brain. Okay, and man, this is incredible. And so, being that it happened in between podcasts, it's only right to share it with you're all very close to me in the podcast realm. And well, let me back up. The amount of kinship I feel when it comes to doing this podcast is so beyond just guy who talks for a living and audience. It is so much more than that. I mean, look at the fact that I have a lot of you folks that are on this Patreon enjoying the live. I call you all the time, or I text you. You have my number. You can call me anytime, and it's always been that way with me. And so I'm extremely fortunate to be able to share these things with you. And I know it sounds like I'm about to say something serious because I am. And on Patreon, it is even more amplified. Not that like people on the free podcast aren't important, but when I can share something with you only first, I'm always like, it makes sense, because while all the people have stood beside me and supported me for one reason or another, you're always even more involved. Okay, the audience on Patreon. I'm trying to say this and thread the needle at the same time without seeming like I don't appreciate the people on the regular podcast. I appreciate them just as much, but we spend a lot more time together. So when I can share something extremely personal with you first, to me, it just makes sense. So I have been talking for quite some time about this whole kidney thing. And in the back of my head, I've been like, I think we're getting close. I think I've been getting little indicators that I think we're getting close to the end of this process to determine whether or not I am going to be given the thumbs up or the thumbs down when it comes to being able to, whether or not I can donate this kidney. So, yes, 2 days ago, I had a discussion with a dietitian, and I talked with you about how that cholesterol needs to come down. I need to ensure that I'm really focused on my diet, so that if I'm lucky enough to be able to give that kidney, I have all the factors in place so that I can have a great recovery and no issues in the future. So, I had that long discussion with the dietitian about that, and all these different surgeons and doctors and specialists and counselors, and they're all talking. Well, I just got off the phone with my nurse caseworker, who is the person who's going to tell me anything. So when she shows up, when I get a phone call from her, everything stops. And I'm like, hello? Yes, what? What is it? So she says to me, Monday is your case review day, when we all get together and we all talk about you, about whether or not you are a good candidate for your potential recipient, whether or not this can happen. I'm like, yeah. And she sounds real cheery and chipper. And I'm like, I think she's going to tell me something nice. I think she's going to speculate right here. And she did. She said, it looks good. It looks real good. That we are in a real good spot. And after all of the testing, all of the interviewing, all the poking and the prodding and the scanning and the dyes and the x-rays and the meetings and the traveling, she says, I am 99%, she believes 99% a perfect candidate. And I thought to myself, if she is going to speculate that far in advance about what this is, then I can say I probably got this. Where they're going to say, thumbs up, full steam ahead. I'm giving her all she's got, Captain. And that would be a huge, huge victory. Okay? And so you're the first to know about this. I haven't yet even called my potential recipient, which I swear to God I was going to get in touch with him. But I'm like, I got to do this podcast. So he doesn't even know. So Monday, they will meet about your old pal, Eric. And then Tuesday, they will call me and tell me yay or nay. But then she says to me, she goes, how flexible are you in getting out here? I said, a day. You could give me 1 day. And as quick as I could pack, I could do that. My wife has like 8 weeks of leave. She has to go with me as quick as it takes you guys to get a plane ticket and me to pack up my shit, and I go. I head out on the back door and down the streets I go. She be hollering about the front rent. She be lucky to get in the back rent. She ain't going to get none of it. It's 1 bourbon, 1 scotch, 1 beer. George Thorogood. You should check it out. But I said, but I'm my recipient, I know, may not be in the best spot to get this procedure done. She goes, well, we'll handle that with him. Stay in your lane, is what she's saying there. So, all right. Well, yeah, I'm very flexible. I am fortunate enough to have a job where, I can do that. So I yes. So I think we're there, man. I think we're keep your fucking fingers crossed, because that would mean so much for this dude. You don't know him, you've never heard of him, you've never heard him speak, but he said when we get to that point, he will be on the podcast. Well, let me just tell you, it'll sound like this. Hey, man, I'm just so happy, I mean, like, it's like for sure such a great thing that this is happening, man. I just wanted to express, how happy I am that everybody has offered their support and their thoughts and their prayers, man. So, I just wanted to say thank you. I've been working on the impression of a person who you don't know. He probably won't be too flattered by that, by hearing me do an impression of him. You see, this guy's a Michigan dude. He's my age, but his brain has been warped by California, so he's all jacked, and that's why he talks that way. Because when you live in another country like California, that's the influence. Okay, that's what happens when you breathe shitty, sooty air for 11 months out of the year because of fucked up wildfires. All right. Let's see. Wow. That's a Big job. Eric, we have another trip come in for Saturday night. Could you be available for a 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. Hesperia to Muskegon trip for a wedding? I don't know if I can do that. Hang on a second. Hey Siri. Read text from Fuckface Nick.
Fuckface Nick said Kenny is a dirty little bitch. Would you like to reply?
Yes.
What do you want to say?
What a horrible, rude thing to say, you miserable Sasquatch face fuckhead.
Your message says what a horrible, rude thing to say, you miserable Sasquatch face fuckhead. Ready to send it?
Yes.
Okay, it's sent.
Ladies and gentlemen, first queen or princess of the forest, Daisy, making an appearance in the podcast. What is your deal, man? She's never done that. Walked up to me, got in her hind legs, and like pet me. And then this is the type of dog that as soon as you start to pet her, she like turns around and walks away. Like, oh yeah, come on, pet me. You start petting the dog, and then she walks away. All right. Saturday, you will be able to see two people who I've talked about that I'm very, very proud of. The wedding, the marriage, the joining, the union between Throat/Dale and his fiancée, Sarah. Yours truly is the officiant. I will also be the officiant for the wedding. When is your wedding again, Mitch? For Mitch and Christina's wedding. In fact, they asked me first. But then Dale, his is closer in the month that it appears in Saturday. So, I have to, I am a ordained minister from Open Ministry. Now, I am a little bit unclear as to how this works. Do I actually even need this? Or in Michigan, can I just say, do my thing, have them do their vows, and then I'm just like eye candy? Is that how it works? Or do you have to have some type of license? I'm not exactly clear, but I wasn't about to risk it. So I looked up companies that say you're legal. And the first one that pops up is Open Ministry, if you look online. And then what you do is you fill out, you answer a couple questions like, what color is the sky? What swims in the sea? And just these really stupid questions. And then they say, congratulations, you are now a minister. Well, what I didn't realize as of last week that you should have your documentation that shows that. Well, I didn't. So I think, and then they charge you because it doesn't cost anything to do what I just said, but then they charge you for the paperwork. So they send me all this shit. And then I did rush delivery. So I paid $47 for the documentation and then another $30 to get it sent as quickly as possible. Excuse me. They send the Open Ministry ceremony booklet. So I don't need that because I usually wing it. So that can fuck off. No, in truth, I'll be using that to help for the particulars. But as the minister of this wedding, which you will be able to see on Facebook on Saturday, as I stream it live from beautiful Muskegon, Michigan, I'll be speaking like you would if you're a minister and you're about to marry a couple as to, this has been quite a wonderful, joyous adventure for these two. They love each other so much. You say a few flowery things. Well, I'm going to speak. I'm going to speak on their behalf about watching their relationship blossom. And, I don't want to tip anybody off as to what I'm saying about on this thing. But just so you know, I got this letter of good standing, and it's got this seal like it's almost notarized, except not at all. And it says, to whom it may concern, this letter of good standing has been issued to formally acknowledge Eric Zane in regular communion as an active and duly ordained minister of the Open Ministry. We hold this ordination to be in good standing and in the register of our church. Eric Zane is hereby granted the authority to perform the sacrament of marriage and all minister privileges and responsibilities thereof. What are my privileges? Does anyone know? What privilege do I get? A hand job? I certify that the above declaration is true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. Signed, L. Hoffmeyer. I wish it said something like Haywood Jablomi or Bud Vugger. Chaplain of Open Ministry, dated September 27th, 2020. State of California, County of San Diego. Actually, it is notarized. It's notarized that this dude, that's all boring shit. Anyway, they give me the certificate of ordination. You know, I can flash this shit. You know, hey, look at this. I'm a certificate of membership. I got one of these too. Look at that. Look at that. I can hang these up on the wall. They sent, and then I have a marriage certificate. This certifies that Throat/Dale and Sarah, and then you can fill all this shit out. I'll have to have somebody write it for me because my writing is so bad. Sample ceremony. So good. I'm so glad. Now, again, am I like just a sucker that anybody can do this and I don't even need this? And I just, I didn't want to run the risk that I could marry these people. And then all of a sudden, like Governor Whitmer shows up and she says, no, suck my dick. They are not married. Fuck you all. They cannot be married. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I had a lot of fun with the Siri thing, and I always have fun with you. So we covered a lot of ground.
Now, here's a guy who looked like something.
That's fucked. Podcast with Ben at 5 o'clock. I will talk to you folks then. Thank you so much. Megan and Henry, I'll talk to you in about 30 seconds. All right, folks. Bye-bye.